Okay, we had the new parts come through from the factory. We'll get them on the car ahead of FP1.
Hello YouTubers and welcome aboard. I am Noob Flyboy X and welcome back to F1 2018 Career Mode, round 14 at the Italian Grand Prix, and we've got some upgrades that should make it a very nice race for us. For one, we've got an engine upgrade which will increase our top speed on this very straight oriented track. We've also got some chassis upgrade and a downforce upgrade, so even in the corners we should be doing fairly well. Here we go on a tour of the classic circuit here at Monza. On the front straightaway across the line, first of the DRS zones is immediate there as we head down the long straightaway into the first braking zone. Very hard on the brakes here. Got to be careful not to go too deep, even I did go a little bit deep there, but through the first chicane there, which is the first corner, into Curva Grande, I believe, though this may be Parabolica. I'm not sure between this one and the final corner, but going through here at a very high speed with rich revs on the engine going. Another hard braking zone into the second chicane. Most of the corners here are actually made up of chicanes, but we get through that well enough. On towards the middle sector here. Hard right-hander, though a much more mild braking zone by comparison. The detection zone for the second DRS zone as we go through another right-hander here. Second DRS zone right here on the back straightaway. Good place for overtaking here, even though it's a bit narrow. Underneath the bridge, up the hill a little bit. And here we are into yet another chicane, though this one's got an extra corner on the end here. And down the second of the two back straightaways. No DRS on this one though, but slipstream is very, very powerful back here. We'll be able to make good use of this section for overtaking as well, as yet here we are into another hard braking zone. Into the other corner that could possibly be either the Curva Grande or Parabolica, I'm not sure which to be honest, and I apologize to the diehard fans, and there we are across the line to complete the lap. So, we're looking pretty good on this circuit. It's very straight oriented for our muscle car Williams, so we should be able to make good use of the engine upgrade. Here we are in qualifying 1, where it's pretty wet conditions. It's full wet weather tires on for this. Go a little bit narrow on the exit there, but we've still set a good time. And there we are, up into 7th, which means we would advance. Unfortunately, like with Spa, I forgot to record a good deal of qualifying. And the thing is, it wouldn't really have mattered if I had, because we're going to end up at the very back of the grid anyway. After Spa, I forgot to change out some worn engine components, and the number of things that I decide to change means that we're going to end up at the very back of the grid for the Italian Grand Prix.
It's race day here in Italy once again. Monza, home to so many records. The smallest winning margin, for example. Do you remember in 1971, Peter Gethard beat Ronnie Peterson to the line by 1/100th of a second. There were 40 overtakes for the lead alone in 1965, and Kimi Räikkönen clocked a record top speed at 230 miles per hour here, just over a decade ago. So there's a lot to live up to then for all of our drivers today. We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Raikkonen, Daniel Ricciardo, and Verstappen, Sainz, Hülkenberg, Grosjean, and Charles Leclerc, Ericsson, Perez, Fernando Alonso, and Van Dorn, Ocon, Stroll, Pierre Gasly, and Kevin Magnussen. Hardly, they've taken a grid penalty, and Iceman. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
So some words of encouragement from our engineer there. For us on the strategy, it's going to be a simple choice. It's an easy one-stop here today. Not a whole lot of wear on the tires because most of the corners are relatively slow. But here we go to 5 red lights at the Italian Grand Prix, and away we go. It's a relatively slow start for us. Brendan Hartley just in front gets a little bit of wheel spin, but is still able to get away fairly well. He's dueling with Kevin Magnussen there as we head down the straightaway toward the first corner. Easy on the brakes here, don't want to slam into anyone. It is always a train going through the first corner here at Monza. The two Toro Rossos just ahead of me, getting tangled up a little bit there. Brendan Hartley just ahead, tangling with Kevin Magnussen and Lance Stroll. I try to go around the outside of Gasly. Don't have a whole lot of room there, but I make it work. There we go. He again comes to the outside looking for the racing line, but I'm still there. He's got to watch out on the brakes though. Magnussen's got a lot of places there as we try to go up the inside then outside of Brendan Hartley. Still struggling though as we put wheels into the gravel. Trying to get past him here, squeeze him narrow in this corner, but he's still right there, right next to us wheel to wheel. Hopefully we're going to have him with our power advantage though onto the back straightaway. He's not going to get the best launch going narrow like that. So there we go. Still don't quite have him yet, but the length of the straightaway and the power advantage in the Williams eventually will win out. We're braver on the brakes as well as we come into Ascari. There we go. Little timid on the exit there, but it's good enough. We can chuck it up into rich revs for the engine and get underway now, trying to chase after our teammate Stroll, who's already got a bit of a gap from our squabbling back here. Squabbling cars, especially teammates, is going to be a bit of a theme for this race. Right now it's just the Toro Rossos behind us, but later on there will be other teams fighting with each other that will allow us to make up a lot of ground as we come to the end of the first lap here. Stroll and the other Williams is not too far up the road, so we'll just need to have a little bit of patience and some confidence in our driving ability to be able to catch him. There he is, not too far up there, so with our advantage on being braver on the brakes, we'll be able to catch him. And by the end of lap 2, start of lap 3, with a fastest lap of the race at that time in his slipstream, neatly up the inside there, not even using rich revs just yet, and then onto the brakes. We've got it. Up a little close to the back of Sergio Perez there, but we hold it together well enough. Perez has got away a little bit, but hopefully with the train of cars in front of him, he'll be held up. Unfortunately, though, we're going to have to wait on engaging with him, because on the next lap, Stroll now has DRS and comes sailing up my inside. Try to switch back a little bit, but I don't want to be too brave on the brakes here. I don't want to wear my tires out too much, because with the one stop, I'm going to have to make do with this set of tires for quite a while. Even so, sticking with Stroll here, looking to make a pass on him in the next chicane here. Looking up the inside, or the outside rather, then to the inside, Daniel Ricciardo style from 2014. There we go. And Perez, again, will be the next target. More overtakes to make here a couple laps later. Looks like that Force India and one of the two McLarens of Stoffel Van Dorn are stuck behind a train. And there we go, up the inside as they're held up behind the other Force India of Esteban Ocon. And it looks like one of the Haas's, I think Kevin Magnussen up ahead, as well as the Sauber of Charles Leclerc. Moving on quickly, looks like it's going to be Esteban Ocon next in our sights, again into the second chicane. Long way back here, but again he's held up a bit behind Leclerc, who's slow on the brakes, especially behind Alonso, and Magnussen squabbling up ahead, and we've got him as well. Leclerc next. A little bit of slipstream here, some DRS for good measure as he's looking for it on Alonso and Magnussen as well. Up the inside, way narrow, and up past 3 cars at once. There we go. Now we're showing the pace that we've got in the straight line in this Williams. It's almost like Canada all over again, and at this point I'm thinking we can get a good result, just like we did in Canada. Just depends how far we can get up the field, but with more cars still squabbling farther up and slowing each other down, we can again look to the inside and make a pass there. Another 3 cars. That's both Renaults and, I believe, the second Sauber of Marcus Ericsson. Up next is our rival Romain Grosjean. On lap 8, we're in his slipstream on the back straightaway. Here's where the focus of the race shifts from the front straightaway to the back. DRS, rich revs, there we go. I think we may have even only used standard revs for that one. The slipstream and DRS is that powerful, but this time Grosjean's got slipstream on us. I'm over here on the outside trying to break the toe. Got rich revs, but he's still going to make a little bit of an effort of it, but thinks better of it. Rather than trying to go up the inside of me on that. We drag him along up until lap 10 when it's time for our pit stop. He is in just behind us. With this, it'll be on to the medium tires, which should take us to the end of the race. So from here, it's about conserving the tires a little bit, going as fast as we can despite that, and just, balancing out everything. Just up ahead of us is the Ferrari of Kimi Räikkönen, wondering if maybe we can start taking the fight to him. He is not that far away, and our straight line speed should help us catch him. Unfortunately, it looks like it's not going to be that way. A couple quiet laps later, though, we have caught up to the 2 Red Bulls of Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen, who have just come out of their pit stops. On lap 16, we're just about ready to pounce on them. Their squabbling is slowing them down, so like their junior team further down the field, These two have been fighting with each other, slowing each other up, and here is the time. As they are slow out of Ascari, it's the perfect time to pounce. Rich revs, all those things that we're familiar with, easily up past them. But they're both going to have Slipstream and DRS on me now, so we're going to have to see if we can hold them off on the front straightaway here. In 5th position, this is a good spot to hold on to if we can do it. Verstappen there, looking to our inside. He's got a front wheel past us, but we have better brakes here at this point. There we go. Run a little deep into the corner, rather, but head out and block him off. No counterattack from him. It's counterattacks I'm going to have to worry about for a little while at this point, but I think I can hold them off and keep my 5th position. Hang on. Does anyone else hear that sound? Well, that was a little strange, but anyway, we've got Verstappen for the time being. On the next lap, though, a poor run through the beginning of the middle sector has allowed Ricciardo to slip up our inside, though. He's ahead of us into the detection zone, though, so I will get DRS. It's narrow on this back straight, but not too narrow. I look for a gap on the outside, but there's not going to be one. Move to the inside instead. Now Verstappen's tapped us on the back and we're in the wall. I've been shingoed. Our front wing is severely damaged. Here we can see Verstappen just taps our back wheel with his front wing and we're in the wall again, just like in Austria. Fortunately, this time we're not out of the race completely, but it's a severe handicap to have that wing damage. As you can see, the Red Bull's already starting to get away again. This wing won't affect me too much on the straight, but in the corners, which are still important on this track, I'm not going to have nearly enough speed to keep with them. By lap 19, even just 2 laps later, they've disappeared up the road into the distance, and now Romain Grosjean is closing in on us from behind. We're going to have to do a lot of work to keep him behind, especially if his car hasn't sustained any damage, and I don't think it has. He'll be much better in the corners anyway. Even in the straights here on lap 21, he makes an effort of it. Initially it looks like I've got him, but then my understeer from lack of front downforce lets him slide up the inside. And there we go. Fortunately though, even though he was behind us in the detection zone and will have DRS, Slipstream is very, very powerful, and with rich revs, big Mercedes engine, there we go. Up past him on the front straightaway, so there's still a little bit to do here. On the brakes though, immediately through the first corner, but not with as much speed as I'd been carrying before. A few laps later, he's got us on the back straight again. He found that gap on the outside. I'm a little braver on the brakes, but not brave enough, even as he has a lockup. Esteban Ocon on the Force India has joined in on the fight behind us. Past Grosjean again. It's a fight between us on lap 24. Into the first corner again. Onto the back straightaway. Ocon's got Grosjean now. It's a fight between us and the Force India this time. Going through here, though. Ocon looks... No! Ocon's touched us as well! We're in the wall a second time because of the Force India. He goes for the gap there on the outside that I looked for on Ricciardo, but backed out of. Ocon tries it, and there's no room there for him to pass. We have absolutely no front wing left. He locks up. Tries to get back on the line. Grosjean sideswipes him. We don't even have the grip to get through the rest of that corner without oversteering into the gravel. There's only one choice, and that's back into the pits for a new front wing and a new set of tires as well, just to help us try to get through the field in the few remaining laps of this race. It's not going to be enough time, though, for us to get much of anywhere, despite the good race tires. We're just going to have to do what we can, unfortunately. We do manage to catch Stoffel Van Dorn napping here on the penultimate lap. He's caught napping there, dive him up into that corner. Moments later, power advantage gets us past both Toro Rossos into Ascari once again, but unfortunately that is as high as we go. 16th place, Fernando Alonso being the only car to DNF in this race. So we can't even quite catch our teammate Stroll. It is going to be 16th at a race that at the beginning looked very promising for our car and our team.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
And here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here, as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Mercedes, then, are on top today.
So despite Max Verstappen shaping up quite nicely in the real seasons of F1 by this point in the 2018 season and by this point in the actual season in 2019, in this game he's still managing to crash us. It's really frustrating. to be so far up the order and have it taken away once again by Verstappen and his Red Bull. So we've lost out on many valuable points that we could have gotten here at Italy, where our car is very, very strong, as I kept saying. We managed to get all the way up to 5th at one point, but it's not to be. We're just going to have to see if Singapore will suit us a little bit better. It's another city circuit, though, so I'm not too hopeful. We'll need to qualify very well, but with the up difficulty of the AI, that'll be a challenge. We have some new parts, though, so it won't be too difficult to fight, I hope. Thank you for watching this one. I'll see you next time in Singapore, and have a nice day.